Hi everyone, welcome back to Three Slips and Silly Points. We've got first slip back, try. Second slip, Raj. Third slip here. Welcome back everyone. First thing, yes, India. What a game. What a game. Yes. That was really good. That was really good. And a pretty good tournament. We'll probably go through some of the recaps, the highs, some of the stats, but overall, minus some average grounds, New York. It was a really good tournament. Like low scoring. Most of the games on average were low scoring, but a really, really, really good game. What do you guys think?
I actually loved the New York round. Given how it sort of brought the teams at parity, like really experienced teams and really like minor teams came together, and they were all struggling at each other. So it made for a really interesting watch. And plus, we've had so many highways where the batters just come and rule the roost, and now the bowlers have their say. Overall, the whole tournament had a balance, right? Where the first half was, bowler friendly, and then the second half wasn't exactly batter friendly, but a little bit better, which was so good. And I love the fact that I'm not just sitting there waiting for the balls to just be out of the park.
Yeah, that's so true to have that balance between, it had the balance between bat and ball. Gave us a lot of close games. Every male batters, right? Had it been a pure highway wickets, the elite 11 would have just run across the associates. But here you've had, simple games like Nepal had a really, really close run with South Africa. India had a really close run with Pakistan. And again, a low scoring games, right? So that balance did exist. And then the second half of the tournament was flipped to the other side. So bowlers enjoyed the first half, batters and bowlers enjoyed the second half. All in all, after the high intensity IPL, this was a much needed break or slowdown or change in scenes for T20.
Plus, a lot more strategy comes into play, right? Because it's not just the batter having a good day and a good time.
Yeah.
And how long can you hit? Like, for example, New Zealand playing Uganda, 0 6s. Who would have thought? So tricky pitches just make for a good viewing overall. And really interesting too.
No, but then also good bowling. Credit to the bowling. Yes, tricky pitch makes it difficult, but also good bowling. They bowled well that restricted with no sixes for a team at that caliber. Yes, they didn't play any warm-up games. That they've got their own controversy and stuff, but they've got caliber. So to hit 0 6s. Yeah.
And the thing is, these are tricky pitches because as soon as USA moved from New York and the States and other parts of the States to West Indies,
and
easy pickings.
Despite being slow wickets and low scoring games, this tournament had over 500 sixes, and this was the first time a T20 World Cup has had over 500. Which is, you had this whole contrast floating all around. We all talk about low scores, but then on the other side, highest number of sixes.
Yeah.
Do you wanna let's kick it off to our predictor? Who won? Who nearly got there? Stats guy, get it up.
Get him.
And then we'll go through.
Hopefully, stats guy doesn't muck it up this time. All right. Semis, South Africa, Afghanistan. I got that one. Both of you were rooting for Afghanistan, but
that was more a hard decision.
Yeah.
that was just like, please.
Afghanistan.
Mine had logic. Just the history of South Africa just suggested they were never going to get through this.
Yeah.
No, but there was a lot of factors that were against them, right? Like the delay, the very tired. But if they had a full a proper team who was rested properly, practiced properly, then this would have been, again, I'm not saying drastically different,
Nah, it
slightly
was
different.
Their batting just not up to the mark.
yeah. South Africa just ran through them
Yeah.
in the semis. They never had a chance all along.
Like if the pitches were a little more like I think everything also went South Africa's way. Like it rained
yeah,
at the
true.
right time
Yeah.
when the pitch became easier to bat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everything just went in South
Yeah.
Africa's way in that game. But in saying that, they did expose the batters. Like they cannot play pace as well.
Yeah,
The
if
massive
you
gap between bat and pad. It was just like, all right, cool, no problem.
if you looked at Afghanistan's strategy, open first, I mean, have a really good opening stand, and then the rest of the players were piling onto that. This time, they lost the openers real soon, and then exposed the entire middle order, who did not have or had the opportunity or had the necessity to play longer innings. So South Africa just ran through them, and getting all out under 60 in a T20 World Cup final against South Africa, who've had a lot of jinxes, lot of failures, was no competition.
But it still hurt while watching the game. I was like, poor Afghanistan. It still hurt. I was like, I feel for you guys. Because they fought so hard. Like, you know what we keep saying? They're a proper team. Minus that game, probably not their best game. They can learn a lot from it. Speed is probably what they, pace bowlers.
I think in the next
like that,
in the next like 5 or 6 years, there will be a regular in a semi.
Oh,
People are not going to be surprised when they come into semis.
Yeah, I don't think that's true. I agree with Raj. They're not that far. They've reached this far with some close games and great captaincy and great on-field coaching. Sorry, just off-the-field coaching.
Around the field coaching.
Around the field coaching. Yeah. Yeah, I was because they were just outside the boundary, so I was like, just off the field, just off the field. But hats off to them. But yeah.
The key thing here is we all got the last match right, and that's all that matters.
Oh, I wonder.
We were on it right from the very first time. Irrespective of what happens in the journey, it's going to be the Indian. But we all trust in the script. Our OG script writer.
Nostradamus Shah.
Have you guys seen or heard the Bangladesh statement that their target was to make it to Super 8s and not to semis, and hence they played the way they played against Afghanistan?
Wow.
It pissed me off.
That's a very concerning statement. Who said that?
Let our stats guys pick up.
Stats guy.
Stats guy.
You can find out in the next episode.
But that's a very concerning statement. If that's coach or like a captain, right? No, I'm assuming it's one of the leaders, right? It's one of the leaders. That's a very concerning statement.
Shakib has something to say, to be honest.
So you came to a tournament to play third best, and then you're like, "Hey, that's what we were targeting." That's a very concerning statement.
That's pretty much my thought process when you're like, you had once in a lifetime opportunity. We kept chatting about this, and I think we did discuss this in the previous episodes. You had a chance to knock Australia out of the tournament. Imagine going into record books by having a knock that knocked Australia out. Nah, you wanted to go head on head. You just wanted to eliminate Afghanistan and prove that. I don't know what point you wanted to prove.
To be honest, only Liton Das really tried. Everyone else was just like, meh. If it happens, it happens.
No, that's true.
And the next one, India, England. I think all of us got it right. The second semis, and of course the finals. Irrespective of who made it, we knew that India was going to win it.
Yeah.
But there were sections. There were sections. We're like, oh my god.
Yes. And to find out what we think about those sections, watch out. One episode ago.
Episode 10. And the link would be somewhere here.
Somewhere.
So, but there were some interesting stats. Like this tournament overall was a success. Like very competitive games. The strategy really had to be pushed hard with low scoring games. But then there was some really interesting stats. One was, as Chai just said, that for a game where some of the games we didn't have any six, but we had the highest six in total. And the previous one was 405 in 2021, which is crazy.
The other crazy thing about this tournament was that all of these experienced teams, I think, couldn't send their like really, really young players because to survive in the tournament, you had to use all the experience you had to actually put up a decent total or to defend a total. And I'm actually kind of glad that India didn't go the route of like the 2007, where we only sent all our young players in because I think we needed someone who just like sits on the pitch for a little bit, understands the game, and then takes it forward. Because if you look at England's approach to T20, or maybe even Australia, they didn't imagine if they had a Stephen Smith in the squad. High impact.
I would have flipped it.
Much different.
Yeah.
With India, after IPL, all the youngsters packed up their bags, and Mr. OG Shah diverted their flight to New Zealand. Zimbabwe. Yeah, these
like, oh no, wait,
you guys are headed elsewhere, not here. But yeah, I think coming back to that class and senior players and sticking at the wicket, there were no centuries in this tournament.
Yeah. Is it possible to hit centuries?
When the overall scores were at 115, 120, you can't expect. I was banking on Rohit Sharma against Australia to actually score the first century of the tournament.
He was so close.
He nearly did it too.
He nearly did it.
Have you heard his post match press conference or interview where he was asked, was the century lingering in your head? And he was like, "Nah, I don't records. I don't play for them. I just wanted to just continue bashing the opponents, write them off the game."
Yeah. And I think it was in that interview. Someone asked him what's the best part about this win, and he just said knocking Australia out.
What was the lessons? What was the lessons learned from this game? अभी ऑस्ट्रेलिया नहीं है इस टूर्नामेंट में.
Oh my god! But the highest run in this tournament was from Nicholas Puran, 98 against Afghanistan.
Very close.
Very close. But that was a really good game.
That man can hit a ball.
Oh man,
he just can't do it. He just can't do it on a regular basis.
Well,
we'll still give the stat that he got the highest.
He will do it in IPL or CPL, Caribbean Premier League, where there is more money.
So talking about bowling, obviously, the MVP of the tournament was Bumrah.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
He was a killer.
The thing for me with Bumrah right now is when he comes onto bowl, the opposition doesn't even try to score a single boundary off of him. It's all about how do we play him off, because we know we can hit other bowlers. Except for Mohammad Rizwan, obviously. Rizwan wants to take him on.
That's right. I was just literally thinking the same thing. I was like, oh, except for Rizwan. Rizwan wants to take him on and get bowled.
Rizwan wants to block everyone else, but when Bumrah comes on, he's like, let me slog sweep this guy because I only need runnable.
Again, with Rizwan, it's a vengeance from the Cricket World Cup because he had the similar line and length ball from Bumrah. It got pretty much out the same way.
Yeah.
Like, all right, that was take one. Did not go per plan. Take two. Have a go again.
To his credit, because he played a different shot. It just turned out that Bumrah just bowled a little bit differently this time.
Yeah. But the crazy thing is, it's for this game is the most Bumrah conceded in his 8 games that he played was 29 runs against Australia. That's it.
Yeah.
That's a crazy stat. Where you have people getting smashed in 1 over for 24 runs.
His economy for the tournament was under 5 runs.
That's crazy.
In a T20 tournament.
T20 tournament.
We spoke about his greatness or the legacy that he's going to leave behind. And I think you could start a glimpse of that already, where he's going to set a record of the lowest economy rate in T20s, which 6 or 7, you may call the player as a pretty decent bowler for the T20 squad. And this guy's going to set a ridiculous test innings like economy there.
Yeah. And like,
Yeah.
it's almost impossible to break any of these records.
Mm.
And I really hope he tells India how to produce another Bumrah before he
Oh,
finishes.
please.
Because
Yeah.
India's going to be in trouble otherwise. They need something like
They
him.
need. There was a video of Australian squad talking, Justin Langer giving pep talk to the squad saying, if the ball goes towards Jadeja, just don't run.
No run. Yeah.
And now I think that conversation is like, if Bumrah is bowling from an end, just
block
play
it.
him out, just block it.
Yeah.
And probably Gary Kirsten is going to take it into Pakistan's dressing room as well.
I think,
Bumrah
is he
comes
still
to-
on the job?
It's been quiet for a while, so yeah,
It's been
gotta
quiet
check.
for a while.
Stats guy, please check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he'll still tag. It's going to be challenging once the players go back to Pakistan. I don't know if they've still gone back or they're still traveling and trying to avoid back home. But that's going to be a huge challenge. How do you flip around? Not even. It's from the management, right? From management, team mentality, and just what you have. You got to break all that.
No.
No,
You're
just
talking about Pakistan, Randy. Just change the coach, change the management.
Well, that's gonna be the quickest result. That's gonna be the quickest result.
Nah, but I think the ideal thing for them would be to just forget about the World Cup and just move on and figure out how you're going to win games from here onwards.
Take a leaf
And-
from Dravid's
and it-
life story.
And understand where you need to work on.
Correct.
Like, don't
Yeah.
just claim that you've got the best batters and the best bowlers. Don't go on an interview and say that you'd bowl Naseem Shah over Bumrah. Like, on.
Oh yeah, come on, seriously.
Like,
talking
give,
about.
give.
No, go ahead. Right, finish up, Raj.
I was going to say, give credit where credit's due.
Oh yeah.
Bumrah is the player of the tournament,
Mhm.
and he's just got it for purely his bowling.
Yeah.
To an extent where he did not even score a single run in the entire tournament.
Yeah.
It's happened for the first time.
And honestly, if you take Bumrah out, India doesn't win. Because India loses at least two to three games where he came in and blocked the batters from even rotating the strike. For 4
Yeah,
overs.
That's true. Actually, that's quite true. That's the concern, right? Like if whenever he finishes up, who's your replacement that has a similar caliber that he does? It's he's got great pace, but he's got great line length. He's got great variation. He's got great
everything.
mindset and strategy. So
Bumrah-
who replaces him? Yeah,
Bumrah also was the bowler who spun the ball more than the spinners did.
yeah, that's right.
I think only
And a
one
spin
player in the
that-
world
Huh?
who I think plays really well against Bumrah is Kane Williamson. I've seen him smoke Bumrah game after game when they went to New Zealand. I don't know what he found out about him, but I think he just walked into the line and he just uses the angle and takes him down. I think,
But-
outside of him,
Yeah.
I don't think anyone else has played him well.
Yeah, I don't think
And plus,
Bumrah, when he started, his first tour was the Australian tour. I think this was back in 2013, 12, 13, 14, some time period there. And when he came about, he was leaking quite a bit of runs.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, and Dhoni consistently insisted on retaining him. And since then, he's matured as a player. And over the past 3-4 years is where he's hit that sweet prime spot of his career where he comes in, you need a wicket, throw the ball to him. You need to slow down, throw the ball to him. You need to change the pace. You need to do any difference, just get Bumrah. Just get 1 over of him, right? And Rohit Sharma has used him so effectively in the key spots. And you could see the difference of that Bumrah brings in IPL, in cricket, in 50 overs, or even in test format as well. So I think he's having the run of his life at this moment. Don't want to jinx him any further.
Even I'm knocking wood over here.
But really, really good place to be.
Yeah.
Then we also had our next bowler, who the top wicket takers were Ashdeep, who did really well. The up and coming generation. And he's death bowling. Like he's got opening. He's got the great swing. I think that can be improved, like some length there.
No,
But
I actually think opening with him is all good.
Yeah.
His deep bowling was a concern, but then he came through for us in the final.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He peaked at the right
When
time.
required.
Which is,
Yeah. I think
because every game I saw his economy at around like 9 or 10 or 11. And then I was like, oh, this guy in the desk is going to kill us at some point. And then comes the final. Oh, he was so good. So good. Like,
but that's the thing. He's like, this is where him now, right? Like, where that trajectory is, it's going to be huge.
Yeah.
And see if we can follow his footsteps of
I'd still want
yeah.
a little more pace off of him. If we can get his pace to like consistent 140 plus, because right now he's in the mid 130s. If we can push that to like 140s, oh, he'll be killer.
Oh,
yeah. That's exactly what Bumrah is, right?
Before Bumrah, this is about 10 years ago. You know, Indian fast bowler's pace was about that 130s. You had rare Ishant Sharma's and Ajit Agarkar was doing a bit of pace, but they were all leaking runs, I think. And anyone that was economical back in the day was in that 130s. I think Bumrah's just changed it. You remember Srishant, he was doing a really good pace, but constantly leaking runs. I think with now the bowling squad, India is batting heavy. We've always had a really good batting lineup. And then now the bowlers are joining the fun. You've got decent world-class spinners, world-class pacers.
Speaking of spin, though, come on. One last person that we need to mention is probably Kuldeep, and then we can move on from this. Yeah.
Kuldeep.
I think once he came into the squad, there's no chance of dropping him. High impact, on point. Maybe let's forget the final. But outside of that,
you gotta write off all the spinners from finals, but leading into the finals, all you gotta your Axar, Kuldeep, Jadeja has had a so tournament, but these two spinners, especially once we move to West Indies pitches. Move to West Indies, Kuldeep slots straight into the squad, and then oh my god, every time there was a pressure mounting, these guys were producing wickets. I still see Maxwell, googly
walking past
it. Hey, Rohit Sharma, I know he's basically, we all know he's retired, but he's the oldest captain to lift a T20 World Cup. And second oldest to lift any ICC tournament, any ICC Cup.
All goes well. Oldest to pick up the Champions Trophy and WTC.
Yeah.
In a span of 1 year.
Yeah.
Good brother, are you listening?
That would be and that would be an ideal way, which I'm sure his career is just around. He's gonna wrap up pretty soon, and an ideal way, win the Champions Trophy, and then goes into press conference casually. It's like, oh, by the way, I've just retired. I've just played my last one day, and I want him to announce. I want him to announce before the tournament that this is my last series. Because that will be your perfect, right? I'm announcing that this is where I'm finishing, and I'm delivering a cup after this, at the end of this.
Would be ideal, but so much pressure if he does that.
Yeah, that'd be so much pressure. I was thinking the same thing. I think so much pressure. I want him to go to the press conference. He's like, "What was the best thing about this tournament?" He's like, "I'm beating Australia again, kicking them out."
Also for India, Rohit Sharma is the only player that has 2 T20 World Cups against his name. 2. He wasn't at the start of the series when they announced the squad that Rohit Sharma is going to lead the team, and I'm like, oh my god, this guy was part of the first campaign, and I hope this guy is still the part of the last or the latest campaign. I'm like,
I think we should
on the victory.
I reckon the next parts we should probably do a review around South Africa's performance and Australia's performance and England's performance.
And New Zealand and Pakistan.
Yes, and New Zealand and Pakistan. New Zealand and Pakistan is a bit tricky because they're pretty average. But I think because we've got nothing to say, not enough content, right? But I think we've got enough for Australia, England at least.
I think we've got enough.
And South
We
Africa.
had enough content for Pakistan, which we've said in
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
I think we should.
New Zealand just had the most off tournament possible.
Oh,
and it's very tricky to review this. Yeah.
Hey, you got only 8 teams that qualify to Super 8, so you got to have heartbreaks. Usually it is your lowest ranked teams, but this time we've had a couple of high ranked teams. But
and
the topic that we just started off, where OT Nostradamus Shah routed a wrong team. Or the right team to wrong place. The youngsters all flying out to Zimbabwe.
Yes.
Yeah, that squad looks strong. That squad looks like the best IPL squads of emerging players possible. They've had a few updates, I think, in the squad. Dubé is replacing someone called Reddy because he's injured. And we've got a few withdrawn players. I'm assuming taking time off because they've had a heavy World Cup. But overall,
and there's some interesting things because I'm looking at it. They've got one squad for the first and second T20. Then they've got a different squad for third, fourth, and fifth T20. Because in the third, fourth, fifth one, Jaiswal's in it. I was like, oh, I thought he'd play all of them to kind of get that.
Jaiswal, he was he's tired warming the bench all along the T20 World Cup.
To be honest, I feel like it's going to be tricky even for this, right? Because we've got so many top order batters and opening batters in this squad, and not much for the middle. Because we've got Abhishek Sharma who opens, we've got Yashasvi Jaiswal who's going to open, Ruturaj Gaikwad who can open, Shubman Gill who can open. That's 5 out of 15. Oh, sorry, 4 out of 15. And even Sanju Samson can open.
It's going to be. I think one of the things that the Indian squad has set a benchmark is player position. Rohit Sharma, who was a middle to lower order batsman, was chucked to the top, and now his rest is history. KLrahul, who is an opener, was pushed to the middle order, and he flourished in the Cricket World Cup. So position or playing out of position is something that all players would have to adapt. And the mix of players that you've just called out, all openers, but given the slots that we will have, is players will have to play out of their position. So perfect test, and also a perfect test to their temperament. Can they dig in if required? Can they slog if required? Can they give that fiery start that they're known for in the IPL? Can they continue to do that on pitches that wouldn't support? So it for me, it's a very good test for the batters. I'm more concerned about the bowling department.
Yeah, I was just about to ask that question. Like, I was about to ask, how's Zimbabwe's pitch? Because there's only one spinner I see. Main spinner.
Yeah, one proper spinner, but I think
one proper spinner
can bowl spin. Abhishek Sharma can also bowl spin, and Washington Sundar can bowl spin. He's like a Jadeja.
True.
Sundar, Sundar, Bishnoi, and with Abhishek Sharma, he's not a regular bowler.
Very part-time.
Yeah, very, very part-time. You know, if things go to shit and you need someone to just try something, you could throw to him. But Mukesh Kumar and Khalil Ahmed probably are renowned bowlers in that squad. And I think Mukesh, Khalil, Bishnoi, and Sundar would probably be your frontline bowlers. And that fifth slot is what would be tossed. You got Rinku Singh, who could do bowling as well, but depends if he's going to continue playing all games. If so, then you got your 5 players with 2 all-rounders and 3 regular bowlers.
I'm actually really excited to see Sai Sudarshan. I loved him in the IPL. I really hope he gets to go in the 11. He looks so good.
Yeah.
Sai Sudarshan.
Okay.
Yeah, he was so good in the IPL.
I am just seeing these new players.
Like his technique is so good. It's like a left-handed Dravid, but like more attacking.
It's more attacking. I was about to say, I was like, man, just a wall, but yeah. And can he bowl? He hasn't.
No, he's a batter.
No, he's more of a batter.
And he's very young.
He's a good IPL. Scored a century against CSK in the latest series, and he's got another 80s odd score as well. So I think Sanju Samson's going to be your key. Shubman and Sanju would be your key batters, key batsmen.
I thought Sanju was withdrawn, no?
Is he?
Yeah. No, Sanju is not playing the first and second T20 squad. He's not in that one, but he's in the third, fourth, fifth one.
He's gonna join the squad a little bit later.
Yeah, a little bit later.
Yeah, but
he's 22. The guy you're talking about.
Exactly. He's very young.
Yeah,
and he's so good. I think Rinku Singh and Sai Sudarshan, my two picks to be out to watch out.
I'm gonna keep an eye on Washington, because this probably is his last series where he has to perform, or is this gonna fade into the line?
He hasn't gotten chances, right?
He's been bought in multiple times, but he
just on the bench, right?
He did play in the house. He did the Sri Lankan series. So whenever the top players were out, whenever there was no Jadeja, he was slotted into the squad. And the reason we are
T20 is very important for him.
We are discussing is because he hasn't left that impact. He's probably had 1 or 2 games where he's left an impact, but not as a match winner.
I don't know. That test match was pretty match winning in Australia. That 96.
And this
but that was at that time, right?
Like he's had the glimpses. He's not. Other players, when they were subbed in to the squad, left a mark straight away. Example, Rinku Singh, right? Whenever he's been thrown into the squad,
his T20I average is over 70 something. It's like 80 runs maybe.
That's it, right? When you get a chance, you got to grab it with both arms, and that's what will remain in the selector's mind. And that's where I was going with Washington Sundar. If this tournament he cannot deliver, you probably would stop hearing his name much in the India squad.
But he's still fairly young. And like the other thing is, being Jadeja's retired now, he should have a spot for him on the squad, given Axel will be the first pick.
I was gonna say Jadeja.
So Axel will be the first pick, and then Sundar as the backup, because that's what Axel did till now, right? He was always the backup.
See, this is where it gets, you got Rinku Singh who fits that. He's not a spinner, but he's a very good all-rounder.
Oh, does he bowl? No, he's a spinner. He's a spinner.
I was saying Rinku. Rinku is a
he's a spinner.
No, right arm off break.
Right arm off break.
Then I don't think this.
I don't think he's as much of an all-rounder as these two,
right? Rinku.
Yeah. I think he's more of a batter than a.
He's more of a batter because his bowling stats are not really that. It's actually empty. It's pretty empty. Yeah.
We could work on him, because you need that.
I feel like Rinku Singh needs to be in the squad regardless of.
Oh yeah. That's just, that's confirmed. But yeah, in terms of with that all rounder with the bowling, I think Sundar's got a slight edge, but Rinku needs to be there. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna find out all of this by our next episode. So we've got 2 games back to back on the 5th or in Australian time zone, it is the 5th and 6th of July. So we'll have some interesting. We'll talk about it in our upcoming episode.
Tune in, like and subscribe, maybe share a little bit. There'll be links all around here somewhere. And come watch our reviews. We'll also talk about the India women's game next time.
Yes.
We've been promising that episode for a while. Definitely do it.
Now we're just waiting for the series to complete so we can have a lot of conversations about all the amazing stats, all the amazing records that the team's setting new benchmarks every single game.
600.
That's it.
Crazy, which is crazy. But yeah. All right, thanks guys. Thanks for tuning in. Remember to like, subscribe. There'll be a previous video somewhere up here. And tune in for our next episode.
Thanks
guys.
And if you can't listen to us on YouTube, you could also go back to Spotify. Just search our name on Spotify and you'll find us there.
That's right.
All the bands are available there.
Yeah. Cool.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Have a good one.
guys.